Hello, coin collectors out there. Welcome back to the Big D Coins channel. Hopefully everyone is having a great day as always. In today's video, we are going to look at this coin right here. There's actually some cool special toning involved with the 1971D located at the top right. You'll be able to see it a little bit better once I remove these other coins from the shot. Before we get into today's video, if you've been enjoying these, please do share with a family member or a friend who's into coin collecting. Just refer them to this YouTube page and maybe send them a link for a particular coin that they might find interesting, or tell them to check out some of the videos. So thank you very much, everyone. Now let's get into the details of today's video. So at the bottom right here, I have 3 Canadian quarters. We have a 2004, 2008, and a 2010. Now I'm going to make a longer video about these coins right here, and I might have already released it by the time you see this video, but what we essentially see right here are some very cool red ink, which are poppy flowers that appear on these coins. So we'll get into the details of those kind of toward the end of the video, but for the most part of the video I want to focus in on this one right here, and I just have these two right here as kind of cool comparisons. So pennies can have some very interesting toning to them. They can come off as being a more red color, which is what you see on the left. The one on the center right here is actually one of the famous 1943 steel pennies, and then we can also have what we see on the right here, which is what's known as a wood grain penny. So I'm going to zoom in, adjust the lighting a little bit, and try and look for some diagonal lines that are coming across the surface of the penny. So that's what's known as the wood grain there we go. We can see it a little bit better right there. It's not an extreme example, but it's definitely an example of the wood grain penny. Now, what causes the wood grain penny? Now, generally, it was known to be an improper alloy mix used when making the blanks that eventually become the coins. Some of these can be quite attractive and command a small premium to the right collector. However, they generally won't get graded very highly by PCGS. So if you have a highly graded coin where you can see all the details, the wood grain might actually take away from the value of the coin. But if you want to sell it to someone like me, I'd be happy to buy it, of course. So these ones right here in this kind of condition would sell for around $1 if you can find the right person to do that. So a very small markup, but maybe if you sell enough of these ones for $1, you can use your proceeds to buy some nicer coins. So we've got a 1971 wood grain error, and the reason I have the 1967 on the left is just for some kind of comparison as far as the appearance of the wood grain on the right versus the normal on the left. Now, some people think it's because of an improper alloy mix. Another theory for what causes this is contamination. Contamination could be oil, grease, or whatever that gets on the rollers that set the thickness of the metal stock before the planks are punched. So we could have contamination on the rollers, or we could have an improper alloy mix. Now, as far as what coins are going to be more likely to be wood grain, it's hard to tell, but my amateur theory is that the higher the production amount, the more errors you're going to have. So as far as 1971, that theory kind of tests out because there are 2.9 billion of these that were made. So if you're making 2.9 billion coins, you're likely going to have some contamination, maybe some improper alloy mixing going on, considering how many of them that were made. Some of them are likely to sneak out into circulation. So 2.9 billion of these 1971 Denver Mint coins were made. There were an additional 1.9 billion of the Philadelphia Mint made, and 525 million of the San Francisco made that were also made in 1971. 1971 does have one notable error associated with it on the PCGS website. That's the 1971 double die obverse. So let's take a look at this one right here. Well, actually, the 1971 DDO involves the Philadelphia Mint, so we won't see it on this coin, but you might find it interesting. The 1971 double die obverse is a scarce variety with a few hundred examples known since its discovery, although it's not as popular as the 1969 S DDO or the 1972 double die obverse, other double dies in the Lincoln Cent series. This variety is not as strong as the doubling in those 1969, 1972. However, don't let that fool you, because because there aren't more than 100 examples. There are less than 100 examples known of these in a mint state condition. So PCGS currently has a price guide for a 1971 double die obverse at a mint state 66 at $3,000. So very high premium for the 1971 double die obverse if you can get one in great condition. Now let's transition over to these right here. Now I'll make a feature length video on these ones right here so people can actually find it in the title of the video, but I want to kind of share with you quickly what you can expect to see in that video, or maybe even a recap if I've already released that video. So we've got 2004 coin right here. This is the first year that they started making these cool poppy flower coins. So we see the red right here. The red is to show the flower, which is a red poppy, which is the official kind of remembrance flower associated with Canada. Now this is to commemorate their Remembrance Day, which is kind of like the Veterans Day here in the United States. So this came out in 2004 and then came out again in 2008. The mintage on this one on the left about 30 million, this one about 11 million, and then this one about 11 million as well. So we see a design change from 2008 until 2010. This one commemorates the 65th anniversary of the Allied victory in Europe during World War II. So we see the dates 1945 to 2010. We've got the big Canadian maple leaf in the back, and then a lady right here in uniform kind of looking downward in remembrance. So very cool coins that are coming out of Canada. Canada has always kind of been on the leading edge as far as making special coins that are made for kind of circulation. So we had these red ones right here, and actually in 2017 they produced this cool glow-in-the-dark one as well. So very cool stuff coming out of the Canadian Mint. All right, everyone, let's quickly recap what we looked at. We looked at this very cool 1971 wood grain penny, so a very cool improper alloy mix or contamination that caused the toning of this. It's not extreme as far as the wood grain, but it's definitely noticeable, especially when comparison to a regular strike coin. All right, everyone, thank you very much. Best of luck coin collecting out there. Take care and enjoy.